Welcome to another SMAB CLIP. In this video, we are questioning the fact that service companies can satisfy their customers with outstanding performance alone. In this video, you will learn that not only the service provider but also the behavior of other actors, including other customers, have a significant influence on customer satisfaction and customer loyalty. If you don't know this, you can alienate many regular customers and lose money. Why are we questioning this? It's quite simple. We are firmly convinced that value is always co-created by many actors, including the customer himself or herself. How then can a service provider's offer alone provide the quality of a service or induce customer satisfaction as an indicator of value? Until now, service quality has only been measured in such a way that the performance of the company for its customers has been taken into account. If you understand service quality only as the contribution of a company to customer satisfaction, then you have hidden the rest of the things that make up co-created value. If you think the customer himself or herself also contributes to the quality of a service, then the definition of service quality should be extended so that the contributions of other actors are also included and measured. One can discuss definitions intensively. Therefore, we leave it to you how you understand service quality. Although we tend to extend the definition of service quality to include the contributions of other actors, including customers' contribution, we do not engage in such a discussion. If you follow our ideas, the contributions of each actor to customer satisfaction should actually be defined as a dimension of service quality. In order to avoid such a discussion, we are only talking about the contributions of individual actors to customer satisfaction because there can be no doubt that not only the service provider but also other actors contribute to customer satisfaction, in particular the other customers who are also present at the time of the use of a service. However, many actors contribute to satisfying a customer in the service process. Hence, hypothesis 1. The contributions of individual actors influence customer satisfaction with a service. Furthermore, we can derive hypothesis 2, which is well known from the literature, for example, the service profit chain. Customer satisfaction has a significant impact on customer loyalty. Loyalty is not only driven by customer satisfaction, which is mainly a transaction-oriented construct. In contrast to satisfaction, identification is rather a long-term disposition of the customer that is directed towards a relationship. Therefore, we propose that, in addition to customer satisfaction, consumer identification is another basic driver of customer loyalty. Consumer identification with a firm exerts a positive impact on customer loyalty to that firm. Obviously, transactions can only influence long-term dispositions in the long run, whereas long-term states of mind exert a substantial influence on each transaction. Therefore, we assume identification has a greater influence on customer satisfaction rather than the other way around. Consequently, we propose identification is an antecedent of satisfaction. Consumer identification with a firm exerts a positive effect on overall customer satisfaction. Any hypothesis on the relationship between identification and the perception of different actors' contributions depend on the service context, being thus derived for a particular service context. We thus can only propose a general hypothesis which has to be specified depending on the context. Consumer identification with an organization exerts a positive effect on the contributions of actors with whom consumers identify strongly. The way in which the contributions of the individual actors influence each other can only be postulated in relation to the context. In our general framework, we have marked this with hypothesis 6. Since value is only ever co-created in a specific context, this model presented here must always be enriched with context-specific hypotheses in order to apply it in practice. Here, we choose the context of a sports event, for example, football. We will limit ourselves to 3 central actors who are perceived by an individual spectator. Sport teams contribute to a great team performance, other spectators induce a great atmosphere by cheering and chanting, and service companies provide services, for example, drinks and food. This leads to 3 context-specific hypotheses. Hypothesis 1a. Stadium service quality exerts a positive effect on overall spectator satisfaction from game attendance. Hypothesis 1b. Perceived team performance exerts a positive effect on overall spectator satisfaction from game attendance. Hypothesis 1c. Spectator-induced atmosphere at the stadium exerts a positive effect on overall spectator satisfaction from game attendance. Therefore, while fans who identify strongly with their team will always try to create an exciting atmosphere, it is the contribution of the other spectators that makes the difference, and we propose their efforts depend on their perception of team performance rather than the other way around. Thus, we assume perceived team performance is an antecedent of spectator-induced atmosphere. Further, specifying our general hypothesis 5, we derived the following two context-specific hypotheses. Hypothesis 5a. Team identification exerts a positive effect on spectator-induced atmosphere. Hypothesis 5b. Team identification exerts a positive effect on perceived team performance. Why are the arrows drawn in different thicknesses? The broader an arrow is, the bigger the influence in the direction of an arrow. The influence was measured in an empirical study which is published in the Service Industries Journal. Wow, this is really complex, although we focus only on the most important actors during a sport event. What are the most important results of this study? First, in the case of a sport event, customer identification is much more important for customer loyalty than customer satisfaction, which is an indicator for retaining customers. Second, contributions of other customers are as important as contributions of the main service provider. As a consequence, sport managers should not only focus on their own contribution. Sport events should not be regarded as products. Sport events are platform business models where actors spend their leisure and business activities. Please watch SMAB CLIP's Sport Value Framework and SDL to get a better understanding for sport events as platforms. Managers should think about how they can facilitate customer engagement to co-create value and increase income. Furthermore, it is almost impossible to build up customer loyalty in sport in the short term because loyalty can only develop in the long term through highly identified fans. It is comforting to know that short-term poor team performance can lead to dissatisfaction on the part of spectators, but most fans nevertheless remain loyal to the team. Get the whole article, which was written by the professors Herbert Woratschek, Chris Horbel and Popp for further reading. You can find the link in the description of this video. Take care.